Hello and welcome to the Print Instant Analysis. I am Sumi Sukanya Datta, Senior Assistant Editor at ThePrint. In this episode of Instant Analysis, I will talk about why the government has passed an order to facilitate the quick launch of life-saving drugs in the country. The Union government has ordered that certain categories of drugs which have already been approved in specified developed countries can be directly launched in India without local clinical trials. The countries included in the list are United States, UK, Japan, Canada, European Union and Australia. These are the countries with the most stringent regulatory requirements for approving drugs. This move will pave the way for faster launch of breakthrough therapies for conditions like cancer and rare diseases. The decision came through an executive order specifying the names of the countries under the Rule 101 of the New Drugs and Clinical Trial Rules. This rule allowed the Drugs Controller General of India to specify certain countries for considering waiver of local clinical trials for approval of new drugs. But over the last 5 years since the NDCT was implemented, the government had not listed out the names of the countries. This meant that several latest drugs which were proving to be blockbusters in countries like the US for diseases such as cancer were not getting launched in India for years. In some cases, this went up to 5 to 20 years. One such example is Zolgensma, a blockbuster gene therapy which is used to treat spinal muscular atrophy, which is a disease causing muscle function loss in children. Likewise, dengue vaccine Qdenga by Japanese firm Takeda has been delayed in India due to the same reason. Thus far, the drugs which were not yet launched in India but needed by patients here could be imported to the country following licenses issued by the DCGI. But it meant that patients had to pay custom duty on most such drugs. So practically speaking, the latest order will also lead to reduction of prices for many new life-saving drugs. That is because once the drugs are locally available, there will be not a requirement to pay import duty on them. In effect, it means that the decision will not only help quick launch of life-saving innovative drugs, but also bring down their costs to patients. There is a catch though. The order restricts the categories of drugs which will be considered for the local clinical trial waiver. These categories include orphan drugs for rare diseases, gene and cellular therapy products. It also includes new drugs used in pandemic situations and new drugs used for special defense purposes, apart from new drugs having significant therapeutic advance over the current standard care. The Organization of Pharmaceutical Producers in India, or OPPI, the network of global pharma companies in the country, has welcomed the decision to grant waiver of the requirements of local clinical trials subject to conditions. But OPPI has also said that even though this is a commendable beginning, extending these waivers to a broader range of therapeutic categories will further enhance access to cutting-edge treatment. The OPPI has now urged the government to consider additional therapeutic areas where similar waivers could significantly impact patient access. It remains to be seen whether the government heeds to the new demand, but for now, cancer and rare disease patients can definitely hope for better access to new kinds of therapies and saving costs. Thank you for watching.